It only takes a disappointing look, an awkward moment, or someone being unhappy with you for you to think that you got to fix this. And if you've been carrying other people's problems and thinking that that's called love, then this is the episode for you. Welcome back to the 3-Minute Pause podcast. My name is Maniza, and today we're talking about why do I feel responsible for other people's happiness. And by the end of today, I will give you a pause that you can put into practice in real time and stop yourself before you actually pick up the emotion. Feeling responsible for someone else's happiness, it feels like love, doesn't it? If I love you and I'm loyal to you, it feels like the right thing to do would be to be a part of all of the things that you've got going on in your life, whether they're happy moments or sad moments or anything that requires me to show up and be there with you. Every single part of me has to show up for every single part of you. And usually when that happens, it's one way. Very rarely, unless it is happening the other way completely, then that's a full level of codependency. But usually when you're responsible for someone else's happiness and feel like you need to fix everything, that's a deeper level of people pleasing. And so if I feel responsible for the happiness of the people around me, then it means I am very invested in everything that is happening in their lives. Everything that's happening on a day-to-day, positive, on a bigger scale, on a smaller scale, it doesn't matter. It means my investment in their lives is far greater than my investment in my own life. And the reason I say that is because when we are invested in someone else's life to that degree, there has to be a cost. You cannot be that invested and put that much energy and time into something else without that energy and time being taken away from somewhere else. And usually it's taken away from you. It's taken away from your ability to show up for yourself. So what starts off as this seemingly really beautiful sentiment of I want to be there to love you and hold you and support you because I don't want you to feel alone, scared, hurt. I want to protect you from feelings. I want to protect you from pain. I want to protect you. And then we become responsible for somebody else's happiness. Can you really protect another person from their own pain? Just think about that for a second. Can we really protect someone else from their own pain? Because the thing is pain is a very internal thing, right? Internally, they're feeling something. You can be there to support them. You can be there to hold a hand. You can make them a cup of tea. You can show up and support the environment. But you can't really go inside them and take out the pain and put it in you, can you? It feels like you can, especially if you have grown up in an environment where you've had to carry other people's feelings or where you've had to carry the responsibility of other people's feelings. But you're not really feeling their pain. Because if you were feeling their heartache and pain, if you were carrying and being responsible for whatever they were feeling, they'd stop feeling it, right? Theirs would go to 0 and yours would go to, let's say, 10. If yours goes to 10 and theirs goes to 0, which we know doesn't happen because they're still feeling it, they're still responding from it, they're still reacting from it, they're still getting angry, they're still feeling their feelings, which is why you still have to keep going back in because you have to keep reducing or what feels like reducing that pressure because they're being less and less reactive then. Because as they get more reactive, they're feeling their feelings, you go in to try and take them away and then hopefully they get less reactive. And that's actually what's happening here. That's the little dance that's going on. And that's how you become responsible for other people's happiness. Well, and also from when you were a kid, right? When we were younger, if the adults in our environment don't feel their feelings because they don't want to feel their feelings or they cannot feel their feelings because they're too big or too overwhelming, then what ends up happening is they take out those feelings onto their environment. So when they're having a bad day, they get angry with the people around them. And when they are hurting or they're sad, they're shouting at the people in their environment. Or they're avoiding them. Or they're slamming doors. But whatever expression they're using, the people in that environment go, oh no, you're hurting. Oh no, you're not okay. and they forget about themselves, then you're not okay. Let me do what I can to make you okay. And so they step in, and that's how the people pleasing begins. And they step in to make that person happy. And they try to make that person smile or feel better, and whether that's talking to them or holding their hand or whatever it is that they're doing, they're trying to soothe the other person. And in the process of trying to soothe the other person, we're hoping they will become soothed and calm down, which usually does happen, right? Because we're human beings. If we're feeling a whole bunch of feelings and emotions that are really big and out of control, and someone comes along and soothes that and holds your hand and calms you down, even for a few minutes, that will calm down. It will feel better, wouldn't it? And so then it starts to feel a little bit better. And the message that initial person got was, oh, well, look, I made you feel better. I carried your feelings for you. Oh, you're calmer now. And then that person thinks, okay, look, I'm responsible for your happiness. That how I showed up and I was kind to you and I loved you and I held your hand, I'm responsible for keeping you happy. So the next time you go and have a bad day, if I'm not there, oh my God, what's going to happen to you? You're not going to be able to manage. Well, this doesn't sound like a very good formula, does it? Actually sounds like a recipe for disaster. Because all that's really happening means is that you have to be there all the time in order to keep soothing this other person. And that's not sustainable. And also, if you're soothing this person all the time, who's soothing you? Who's making you feel better? So being responsible for somebody else's happiness is actually a deepest form of people pleasing, where you stepped in to take responsibility for the adults in your environment a long, long time ago because they couldn't handle their emotions. And so they threw them on you. And when I say took responsibility, it was because you were trying to make them feel better. That's what you took responsibility for. You took responsibility for trying to make the situation and the environment calmer so you could also function and live. Nobody wants to live in a volatile situation all the time. It's exhausting. So you took a stand to try and help you. It's too emotionally exhausting to be in this situation all the time where it's so volatile. So the best thing is to calm it down and to soothe the other person. And that's when that message just gets reinforced. I'm responsible for other people's happiness. And then before you know it, you enter into new relationships, and in these new relationships, you go in and you start off on that foot. You start off on, hey, let me soothe you, let me make you feel better, let me just take care of this for you. And if there are people who haven't looked after themselves in a long time, or who haven't had someone love them, and they go, oh my God, you're going to love me in this way? I haven't ever been loved because I was one of you. I was doing it for somebody else, and now you're going to come and do it for me. Oh, how wonderful. I'm going to give up all my power to you. And now you're responsible for their happiness. Boy, this is a slippery slope. This doesn't look like it's going to get any better, does it? Here's the thing. It can get better, and it does. And the way to do it is actually stopping and pausing for a second to look at, where are you, first of all, in this equation? Where are you? We've got to come back to you first. Because right now you're giving all of this stuff away to everybody else, but none of it has been retained for you. So first things first is, you got to come back to you. And the easiest way is to come back to yourself somatically. So is to take a breath and come back into your body. Because the second you're in your body, you will start to feel what is uncomfortable. It's when we're disconnected from our bodies that we can disconnect from our emotions. But the second we come back into our bodies, because our bodies will hold our emotions in the form of pain. Yep. Our bodies hold our emotions in the form of pain. And so when you come back to your body, you feel your pain. You then don't disconnect. So this week's pause is to come back into your body. How? Run, walk, have a wiggle, have a dance, move, shake. It doesn't matter. Anything that puts you back into your body, you know yourself. Anything that keeps you or brings you back to your connection, do that. The second thing is to create awareness. The second you feel pulled to step in and soothe for another person, and you know what I mean by soothe. We all know, we all have our own soothing techniques. When you step in and you want to soothe for the other person, I want you to pause. And in that moment, stay in stillness and in silence. And just be there with that person. You don't have to abandon them physically. You don't have to abandon them emotionally. You can sit next to them. You don't have to say a word. Stay in stillness. Just be with them quietly without doing anything. You are going to feel really pulled and want to dive back in and go in and try and save. It is going to feel like a compulsion. So the first time is going to be hard to resist, but you can do it. So hold still. Stay within your stillness in your body and just be for a couple of minutes. Come and tell me what happened. I would love to know. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe so others can join the pause too. For show notes and more, please visit www.monizakimji.com.